All right. So first thing, thank you for all the hard work you did on the first deliverable. It was great. I was talking to my wife the other night, and I said, it's just amazing, you know, the quality of work that my undergraduate students can do. I said, it's basically graduate level stuff. And I said, it's just amazing, you know, the quality of work the undergrads can do. I see no difference intellectually, you know, between graduate students and undergraduate students. Graduate students just have more experience. You guys are just as smart, you know, as they are. So why would you teach them differently? It really doesn't make sense. And if you go to the Ivy League, there's really no difference between undergrad and grad content within the courses. They teach the same level of quality. And so you should feel proud of yourself, you know, going through and working and doing that level of work, because you did basically graduate level work. Okay, so you know what the grad school is going to look like. Okay, it's all project based. Okay, some exams, but deliverables project based. So you guys should be really happy with yourself. So what I did was I gave you the midterm and then the notes, blue book. So make sure you take really good notes. I'll start on the exam next week. Was anybody going to present today, or were you guys presenting on Tuesday? Wasn't there like Team 9, Team 1 that was going to do chapter? Who's Team 9?
I don't think we had a Team 9.
No? What about Team 1?
Your team.
Okay, so I'm doing both. Okay, I'll do them on Tuesday. Okay. So let's talk about the exam. Okay, so the exam is all case study problems. All right, you basically set yourself, you know, a solid foundation now to be able to work a lot of the discounted cash flows. You've been exposed to different intrinsic valuation methodologies. So now let's do some case studies. Okay, and we'll just do case study, case study, case study, and this stuff will just burn and imprint into your brain, and it'll totally stick. Okay, so the first one is we're going to do a venture capital or private equity case study where we're acquiring a technology company. So we're the private equity firm or the venture capital firm. We're looking to acquire a startup company. How do we come up with the value in which we're going to not only bid on the company, but the value that we think that the company is worth? Do people do that stuff? Do people do that stuff? Yeah, every single day. I mean, this is the hotbed of tech acquisitions. This is the hotbed of startup companies. Everybody outside of the Bay Area is completely jealous of us because we have a certain type of ecosystem and an environment that everybody's trying to replicate in Manhattan, and Chicago, and Boston, and Shanghai, and Guangdong, and Berlin, and other places in the world. But you know, we're here, and you know, we're lucky. So we got to know how to do the valuations around this. The second one is going to be an investment banking case study, where basically we are going to look at the valuation for an established tech company. So the valuation methodologies are the same. It's just a little bit different when you're valuing and acquiring startup companies as opposed to maybe doing mergers with between two established companies, or trying to value a established tech company. This could be a mid-sized tech company or a large cap tech. The other is a established tech company where we actually, on page 3, we value the shares. Okay, we value the stock. Okay, this could be an exercise to value the stock because you have stock options, you know, in the company. Would that be cool if you had some stock options in Salesforce or Oracle or Microsoft? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So running through the valuation methodology, not only from your standpoint, but as an analyst. Okay, you're the equity analyst. You're valuing an established tech company. You're going to come up with the valuation, then you're going to make the recommendation to the client, okay, or the proprietary trading unit within the company. Page 4, we're going to do a public real estate investment trust, okay, and we're going to value a REIT shares. REIT shares are cool. They pay a lot of dividends. They pay out. They pay high income returns. The cash flows are collateralized, you know, and stabilized by the underlying real estate. So we'll go through the valuation method looking at a REIT. So it's slightly different than a stock, but they're great investments. I've made a lot of money in REITs. Commercial real estate development, there's in your corporate finance or in the finance program, there's two things that aren't mentioned within the program, even in the business school. They don't talk about real estate and they don't talk about insurance and annuities. For some reason, I don't know, because you're probably gonna be investing in real estate in some form or another, I hope, or you may inherit it if you're lucky. And you may be maybe actually investing in it at some point in time. So you should know about the asset class, because it's like a $15 trillion asset class in the US. It's huge, okay? We never talk about it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna underwrite a Salesforce Tower and go through the high-level valuation for, Salesforce Tower. Does everybody know what Salesforce Tower is? Has anybody heard of it? Anybody seen it? It's the largest office building west of the Mississippi. It was just basically built by Boston Properties, and the anchor tenant is Salesforce. And Salesforce basically occupies 3 million square feet in basically on one corner, almost 1 million square feet. 50 Fremont, almost 1 million square feet, 1 million square feet at Salesforce Tower. So they basically control about 2.5 million square feet in one, like literally walking distance from each other. It's a pretty amazing company. So we're gonna do that, and then on page 6, we're gonna do Mission Bay. And Salesforce Tower is the newest product delivered in San Francisco. Again, it's 1 million square feet. And again, it's all state-of-the-art construction, and it's right where the Transbay terminal used to be. So it's an amazing product. And then the other amazing product is on page 6, which is Mission Bay. Are you guys familiar with Mission Bay? Mission Bay, the largest biopharma, biotech, medical office, laboratory, university research cluster west of the Mississippi, basically anchored by UCSF and Genentech and all the major biopharma companies, biotech companies. It's pretty amazing. When I underwrote that property, I was forecasting 30 to 60,000 jobs that would be created over a 20 to 30 year period. So just incredible, and it's almost fully built out at this point. So we're gonna underwrite Mission Bay. We're gonna be the investment banker. East Hill Secured, which is one of the top real estate investment banking firms that's owned by Wells Fargo. We're basically the investment banking advisor to Alexandria REIT, which is one of the largest biopharma, medical office, research institution, real estate investment trust. Just an amazing company. We're gonna go high level through the valuation of that product, okay? And then we're on page 7, we're gonna do capital budgeting, okay? And I'm gonna teach you the chapters 10 and 11 are capital budgeting chapters. It's the heart of basically the book. So I would read and memorize those 2 chapters, because if you're gonna use anything walking out of this class, you're probably gonna be using those 2 chapters, making investment decisions. So I designed a matrix to basically burn into your brain. How do you make investment decisions using present value calculations, net present value, internal rates of return, and break-even analysis. And we go through the 4 iterations of making these decisions. And I'll walk you through that probably 3 or 4 times so that you memorize that and have that with you. And then the last, on page 8 and 9, are basically extra credit. These were actually given to us by the accreditation agency, or the accreditors who accredit the business school, and said, give these to your students and see if they can figure them out. So I just throw them in there for extra credit these days. So if I'm ever asked to show them again to the dean and the business school, I have them readily available. Okay, so it's a little bit different, and then the final is going to be basically 2 of these just mixed up a little bit with the investment decision-making matrix. Okay, and that's a take home. Okay, all right. So any questions on that? No. Okay. So what should we do? How much time do we have?
An hour.
An hour?
Hour and 5 minutes.
Okay. Why don't we finish the movie? I can coach and review. What's left to review. If you want me to go over your deliverables, we'll go over your deliverables, and then whatever time we have left, I'll do an introduction to the capital budgeting process. And then on Tuesday, I'll come in, focus on capital budgeting, and then start working through the problems for the exam. And then you guys will do the presentations on Thursday. Okay, we'll try to pound out this this part of the course. Okay, so you've already been through the hardest part. Okay, all right. And then what I'll do probably next week too is I'll bring in examples of the valuation work that you're going to do, because you're going to be in your teams of 3, and I don't know what bank do you want to value? Do you want to do Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, U.S. Bank? Does anybody have any preference? I'm pretty flexible. If you do some of the local banks, it increases the probability when you go to interview with them for a marketing position, or digital media, or finance or accounting or whatever, and you walk in with the basically the pitch book of Wells Fargo. You show them that, you're pretty much guaranteed a job. Wouldn't you think? You want to do Wells Fargo, don't you?
I already work at Wells Fargo.
I know, but would you want to do the valuation, or do you not care?
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
Okay, anybody else have any, you want to do Goldman Sachs, you want to go do JP Morgan? Wells Fargo's a little harder because of the reputational and the brand damage that occurred from manufacturing these millions of, fake bank accounts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Are you asking about like
What bank do you want to underwrite? Yeah, do you want to value? And we're all going to do we're going to do the same one. I'm just asking you, JP Morgan's a great company. Goldman Sachs is a great company too, but they just, helped launder like $1.3 billion from the Singapore, pension plan, which, they'll probably be fined I don't know, maybe a couple $2 billion for that thievery. But it's a good company. So is B of A, so is Wells Fargo, so is U.S. Bank. Do you have any preference?
Bank of America?
You like Bank of America? Okay, anybody else? Okay, we'll do Bank of America. Okay? All right, so we'll do Bank of America. And I'll bring in some examples of Goldman and JP next week, and then you can start pulling up some of the research, because I was told that, students don't have enough time to really work on it throughout the rest of the semester. So I think what I'll do is I'll start it a little bit earlier, show you where to get the data, walk you through some stuff a little bit earlier in the semester so it doesn't become so overwhelming and you got to slam it together the last 2 weeks of the semester.
So this is due like during finals then?
Yeah. So what you'll do is it'll be due the week before the final, okay? You'll do the presentation. I'll give you feedback on it, and maybe we'll actually do it some test runs the week before that so I can see what the product looks like and what the approaches that you made, make sure they're correct. Then you'll do the final presentation dressed the week before the final, and then I'll look at it over that week. I'll give you comments and corrections, and then when I say go to the print shop, you'll go to the print shop and you'll print it out professionally with the backing, the wire, and in color. And then you'll give, the leader of the team will give me the final approved business quality pitch book in their deliverable the day of the final. Okay? And then the day of the final, we'll chill out for like a half hour, chow down on some cheesecake and stuff like that. Whatever you want. If you have preference on, pies or something, just let me know and I'll get it. And do me a favor too. Don't harass your professors about not bringing cookies and pies to. Like one of my colleagues came up to me and said, my students are asking me to bring cookies out of the class because of this. Don't harass those guys, okay? Just let it be my little thing. Just don't harass the professors about cheesecake or cookies, please. Okay? And then what I'll do is I'll do like a 40-minute lecture, an exit lecture that I developed for about an hour the day of the final, and then we'll get out of here like a half hour early. Unless you guys want an exam, I'll put together an exam for you, multiple choice, if that's what you want. Do you want an exam?
No.
No? Anybody else want an exam? No? Okay, does that sound okay? Okay, cool. Then we'll do it like that. Okay? All right, so those are the expectations. I think everything should be clear. Just be ready to, for you who are going next Thursday, to be prepared. Please edit the presentations down. Don't read 40 slides and take up all the time, for the class. Just work on it, edit it down, come in prepared, do the presentation, spend no more than 20 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever it is to walk us through the key takeaways, okay? Any questions or clarifications? Okay, you know that the deliverable is due next Thursday, okay? The revision of it is due. So if you want to bring it to me and have me look at it, to give you some comments, to make sure that you get the max grades on it, come see me, okay? And then when you hand it in next week, it's got to be fully done, fully completed, and use the videos to go back and add the detail, particularly in the portfolio piece and the technical analysis. Go back and review the videos, add in as much detail as you can, because again, at the end of the day, that's what we want. When we're hiring you, you have to have a total attention to detail. You can't make any mistakes, okay? So this is just a test to help you really focus on the detail, okay? Same thing with the memos. All right, anything else? No? Okay. And then please, please, please,